The 28th of July, 1847. 4 days since our arrival in the Great Salt Lake Basin. It had been almost 4 months since we left winter quarters on the banks of the Missouri. 1,200 miles through flats of the Platte Rivers and steeps of the Black Hills and Rocky Mountains. The burning sands of the eternal sage regions and willow swales. Rocky canyons and stumps and stones. Many of us were ill with the mountain fever. Still, we desperately tried to plow and irrigate the land. The ground was so hard and dry, we broke several plows in our efforts. A hot, dry wind blew incessantly that day.
I don't understand. This was the beginning?
Yes. Toward the close of the day, Brigham Young thought we should continue our explorations of the new land of promise, despite his still being stricken with the fever. I was an apostle by then. I felt we had found the land held in reserve by the hand of God. My soul was filled with the most sublime joy as we followed Brigham northward, right to the heart of the valley.
Brethren, here we will build the temple of our God.
Your memory serves you well, President.
Yes, it would seem so. But I'm afraid I have a little help in that regard, young man. There we are. Now, here's something that might interest your readers, Mr. Callahan.
What's this? A journal? You kept a journal?
Since 1834.
I didn't know you fancy yourself as a writer.
I wouldn't pretend to aspire to the lofty realm of a writer.
I see.
No, I simply make a record of the times, if you will. The prophet Joseph Smith admonished the saints to be a record-keeping people.
Joseph Smith, the founder of your church.
Precisely. So when I joined the church, I vowed I would never lay my head to my pillow until I made a record of the day's work. And since then, I seldom ever heard the prophet Joseph or any of the 12 apostles teach any principle, but what I felt as uneasy as a fish out of water until I had written it in my journal.
You mean you actually kept a daily record since the day you joined the Mormon church? Well, not an easy task, I'll wager.
Obedience is never an easy task, Mr. Callahan.
November 25th. What year?
1836. Please, have a seat.
Of course.
I wasn't much older than you, Mr. Callahan, just a lad of 29. My companion and I were returning from a mission in the southern states.
Pardon me, but I'm afraid I don't understand how all this relates to the Salt Lake Temple.
Oh, you will, Mr. Callahan. You will. And that was the day that my eyes first beheld the house of the Lord built by commandment and revelation in these latter days.
Brother Smoot, hurry, come quickly. Come in.
Abraham, come quickly. I think we're here. Hurry.
Kirtland.
Yes. Kirtland.
Kirtland Temple had recently been dedicated, and I was anxious to hear news of that blessed event.
Oliver Cowdery and I knelt in solemn and silent prayer, and the veil was soon taken from our minds, and the eyes of our understanding were open.
His was the voice through which the Lord himself had chosen to speak in this last dispensation, the prophet Joseph Smith.
We saw the Lord standing upon the breastwork of the pulpit in the temple. His countenance shone above the brightness of the sun, and his voice was as the sound of the rushing of great waters. He said, I am the first and the last. I am he who liveth. I am he who was slain. I am your advocate with the Father.
He spoke of the prophets of old, Moses, Elias, and Elijah. For they also had appeared to Joseph and Oliver in the Kirtland Temple to commit their keys and dispensations unto them.
Well, tell me, what did you think of the Kirtland Temple the first time you saw it? The completion of this temple came at a great cost and sacrifice to the saints.
Yes, and the brethren and sisters have been blessed for their labors.
This is only the beginning of the blessings which the Lord shall pour out upon the heads of his people.
Tell me, Joseph, what are these blessings?
The Lord has begun to restore the ancient order of his kingdom unto his people, to bring about the completion of the fullness of the gospel. Wilford, keep these things and ponder them in your heart only.
I understand, Joseph.
Welcome home, Brother Woodruff.